Much love, peace and love, TikTokers, peace and love, knowledge seekers, peace and love, gods and goddesses. For my full video, as you know, go to Patreon. We are live and direct. What are we speaking about today? Hit that like button. Appreciate you. Law of attraction, LOA. You understand? We're going to be talking about crabs in a bucket, featuring the survival paradigm. You know, RIP to Nipsey Hussle, RIP to Pop Smoke, RIP to PNB Rock, RIP to those spirits and entities that I don't want to say lost, but were their physical bodies are no longer with us because of the beauty of the universe, right? So shout outs to all them genuinely, right? Everything happens for a reason. Understand that the life you live is your truth. Your truth comes with consequences. Notice that I didn't label it. It's consequences comes with actions. That's just how it works. So whatever you're on is what's gonna happen. You understand what I'm saying? Now, everything that happens to everybody is well-deserved, and the person is happening to understands that. It's very esoteric. It's kind of like Full Metal Alchemist when they try to bring their mom back. You understand what I'm saying? That was supposed to happen to bro. And honestly speaking, it actually made him a better alchemist. You understand what I'm saying? All right. So let's talk about it. This video should be done by now, right? On TikTok or whatever. You should be able to go over to Patreon and watch more, genuinely. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of it. When you talk about the survival paradigm, right? You're talking about the map of consciousness. And I'm going to focus on that, right? So the aspect of crabs in a bucket pulling another crab down as the crab goes up, right? Like naturally and subconsciously. What you're seeing is this. I grew up in Brownsville, Brooklyn. I was raised in Canarsie. Shout outs to Pop. Shout outs to everything. You understand, right? I grew up in the survival paradigm. What is the survival paradigm? I'll place something right here that shows you the map of consciousness. But on the map of consciousness, the survival paradigm is below the reason and integrity paradigm. And below, above the reason with integrity paradigm, is the spiritual paradigm. The spiritual paradigm includes aspects of enlightenment. So now we're going to break down why when rappers or just successful people go back to their hood, they're met with some type of animosity or aspects of jealousy or aspects of disappointment or envy, is because all those emotions are in the survival paradigm. When you look at where pessimism comes from, right? And we're going to get real hot with this. Pessimism came from our ancestors trying to survive as they hunt and gather. Now you don't have to go through that. You can stay at home as you watch Netflix, and you can order Uber Eats, standard or priority, and Bed-Stuy Fish Fry will bring some lovely yam fries to you, and some jerk chicken breasts, which is lovely, by the way. Shout out to Bed-Stuy Fish Fry. But what I'm going to say is this, right? When it comes to the pessimism, your ancestors have been moving from a space of survival because they had to. If you look at Demon Slayer, the way his life was set up was based on his circumstances, his situations, and his environment, right? He had a very beautiful upbringing, but the universe gives you different things because that's how you grow. Up, down. Mastery doesn't consist of abnormal visions or fantasies. It consists of higher vibrations over lower, right? So back in the days, like matter of fact, let's do the flea aspect. You put some fleas in a jar, right? And close the lid, right? I want you to understand that as these fleas produce more fleas, take off the lid and the fleas will never go past the lid, because that's what it was trained to understand. It's the same thing with a deer. When a deer is in the wild and it senses a lion, the instinct in it is to keep going, because you got to understand, in a deer's DNA, there's information. You understand what I'm saying? There's information. So the lion understands this. The cheetah understands this. It's just a way of life. So let's bring this back to the jungle. Like I said, I grew up in Brownsville, Brooklyn, never ran, never will, but psychologically, yeah? So when you talk about heading back to a space that you grew up in, remember, it's survival. It's a lot of disappointment. If you go to Brownsville, right, you can feel that airy vibe. I got used to it. I'm pretty sure that some of you guys got used to it too. But you can feel the survival aspect. Why put ourselves in that space when you've made it out through reason and integrity and spiritual enlightenment? You going back to that is just going to bring you harm. At the bottom, on the level of consciousness, is death. Remember, heaven is a state of mind. Hell is a state of mind. Purgatory is a state of mind. A lot of people are trapped in purgatory. What is purgatory? You're trapped in the middle. If it is winter and you open the door and you put one foot in and you keep one foot out, you will still be hot and you will still be cold. But the temperature is based on what you would like it to be. So everything that you're doing is what you want. I think that sometimes, right, we get lost when it comes to understanding that you don't owe the hood anything. And it's not more so about you saying it, it's about you being it. You know you don't owe the hood anything, stay out the hood. Because you got to understand, these people are in the survival paradigm. So by default, they will pull you down. Now, if you're in purgatory, you're on both sides. Now, a lot of times I realize, right, that it's something called a law of habit. Excuse me. You get comfortable with certain habits, and sometimes life moves so fast that we never really sit down to go through an aspect of introspection or reflection to understand why these habits are not suitable for the lifestyle we're trying to obtain. Shout outs to Neuro Knowledge. We talk about the aspect of the old frequency. A lot of you guys are caught in the middle because your old frequency is latched on to your new. You understand what I'm saying? So back to the map of consciousness. Sometimes, based on us growing up in the survival paradigm and making it, it's like naturally, how about this? Remember, my girl brought this up the other day. Remember in Girlfriends, that episode when Maya had went back to the hood after writing Oh Hell Yes? She went back to the hood and was greeted with a bunch of envy, jealousy, disappointment. Like, oh, she feel like she entitled. She feel like she better than us. But in actuality and in reality, you have to understand the law of attraction. If somebody is stuck in the hood and still there, that's because they're attracting what they're on. So them blaming others for that understanding and not holding themselves accountable also comes with beautiful karma. It depends on what their life and their story or the narrative that they're creating subconsciously creates. So it depends on their spirit and their subconscious. Remember, you got to put yourself in a different environment. An environment where you're not drained. An environment where your friends are very selective. An environment where your friends subconsciously want to enhance the mission that you're on. So if you're looking forward to being wealthy, why would you hang around people that are not looking forward to be wealthy? They're enjoying keeping up with the Jones. They buy a little something and then assume that they deserve the same respect that a motherfucker like 50 or a celebrity is doing. Listen, you have to understand, this is not about materialistic shit. That has nothing to do with it. It's about freedom. And freedom, you'll only get financial freedom when you free your mind. You have to understand. So if you're caught up on the map of consciousness, please check this out. I'll put it here. The map of consciousness, if you're caught up in the middle, you got reason, you got integrity. And when you got integrity, you're whole. You're not divided. You understand who you are, and there's a reason behind that integrity. Thus, you wanting to be enlightened about who you are. You need to understand something, right? You are you your whole life, and you're just trying to be a better version of yourself. And a better version of yourself does not affect people in negative ways. If you make mistakes, it is okay. This is why we have to be careful on what paradigm we put ourselves into. You make a mistake in the survival paradigm, you might get caught lacking. You make a mistake in the survival paradigm, you might have an out-of-body experience and you thought that you wasn't connected to, but in actuality, you manifested this. So this is all about us manifesting things naturally, because manifestation is natural. Once again, shout out to Neuro Knowledge. Manifestation is natural. You need to focus on, do I want this or do I want that? A lot of motherfuckers have to understand the same anxiety you get when you have to make a decision. Let's say a decision in between something you value a lot. You don't know what to order on Uber Eats. You didn't get paid and you got to reach out to your job. You're scared you might lose it. You got to understand that's the same anxiety a motherfucker in the survival paradigm might be going through when he loses his best friend. This is why I be like, I hear people say, oh, black on black crime, etc. Yo, this stuff is psychological. Live your life. That's the thing. Live your life. Stop trying to correct what people as individuals are subconsciously on. You will never win. You will never win. You could go call Al Sharpton. You could go call Jesse James. And listen, I don't know how that's going to work. Al Sharpton looks weird skinny, but he looked dope acting on Girlfriend. Shout outs to him. And Jesse Jackson, I don't see any good energy wrapped around his name, but shout outs to him for fighting for your rights, I guess. He has a great Jerry curl, a great perm, and so does Al Sharpton. You need to focus on you. Anytime you make it out of your version of the survival paradigm, I need you to do me a favor. You need to start meditating more so you can get used to you making it out. If not, you're going to have that subconscious vibe to go back to it. And guess what? You ever heard that saying? You could take a motherfucker out the hood, but you cannot take the hood out of him. So you have to get to cleansing your body, your soul, releasing those vibes. Yeah, I grew up in Brownsville, but I'm not Brownsville. You got to understand, that's where I grew up. Yeah, I grew up in the floors. I grew up in Canarsie, but I am not Canarsie. I am not the stereotype. I will not profile myself because I've already done that and realized that is not me. And a lot of that survival paradigm has a lot to do with hypermasculinity, machoism, megalomania, egomania, delusional grandeur. And these are things that we have not diagnosed ourselves about. My mother didn't know nothing about emotional intelligence. She didn't know shit about that. It's time that we start to understand our mission. Our mission is freedom, nothing materialistic. We're talking mental freedom. Freedom in every plane is beautiful and genuine. Start to understand who you are, where you want to be, and make it out of the survival paradigm genuinely, and be a sophisticated ghetto motherfucker. I don't go everywhere. I'm very selective. My PTSD is very balanced. I do not play around. Like I told you, I grew up in Brownsville and I grew up in Canarsie. It's not nothing for me to start an LLC. You got to understand what's going on. Why? Because I made it out of a lot. You feel me? I made it out of a lot, and I need you to understand that you did too. Much love, much peace. Shout out to my Doomiest for being here to watch this full video. Shout outs to the Master of Self-Terror if you went up to the Doomiest and now you're watching this. But this is all about self-educating ourselves, using the things around us so we can be better. Much love, much peace. Yes, I enjoyed, and I hope you did too. Crabs in a bucket, future in the survival paradigm. Much love, more things coming, more content. Love you guys. Stay out of purgatory. Stay out of the survival paradigm. If not, call Emotions Made Easy. Go to blackraps.com. They'll help you out. Why? I run it. Me and my lady. I started something so I can help people understand their emotions enough so they can make it to the enlightenment aspect. Love you guys. Appreciate you. Much love, Doomiest. Love.